You will recall that a few weeks back, young people under the name of Gen Z came back and in their numbers expressed their dissatisfaction with the manner in which the country was being governed, in particular on the excessive and what they called punitive taxation that had been meted by this government, and especially the Finance Bill 2023. In the wake of all this, they had pointed out governance issues which were directed at parts of government, especially on the cabinet. The cabinet has since been dissolved, and the president has been in the process of reconstituting this cabinet. The ODM party took a position, but before I address this in terms of the position that it took, I want to thank the young people of this country, because in the process of what seems to be uncharted territories that this country has been thrown into, we have all been put in the spotlight that all the power that we exercise, including the power to levy taxation, the powers that we exercise in terms of lawmaking and legislation, is power that is delegated, it is power that is donated, it can be reclaimed. In other words, these young people came and reclaimed their power. In other democracies, this parliament would have had to be dissolved. Fortunately, it has not been dissolved. Parliament, the executive, and this country, courtesy of these young people, have the opportunity to reconstruct and retrace its steps. I am happy that even though we may not have 100% perfection, and there may be no perfect fit, I am happy and I wish to congratulate the Honorable John Mbadi, who was my chairman or still is my chairman of ODM, for his appointment as the CS of Treasury. I wish to ask Honorable Mbadi, if and when he is confirmed, to consider and reflect on the many issues that led this parliament to be under siege, that led to the hundreds of thousands of people who were died on the streets agitating for their rights, some who were abducted. As he occupies that seat of Treasury, let him remember that this is a position of trust. Just like all other arms of government, he is occupying power that is delegated by the people of Kenya. When they delegate that under their sovereign power, they delegate it, but they also reserve the right to take it back. It is a position of trust in which Kenyans have now or are now going to be looking at the CS of Treasury to give directions in terms of budget policy statement. How and under what circumstances should Kenyans be taxed? People have said in their numbers, and the young people have spoken, that there is wastage in government, that there is excess budgeted corruption in government, that there is a lot of things that we can do without. And in his first 100 days, I am looking forward to John Mbadi setting a new tone, because John Mbadi, as I know him, he is not Gen Z, but he is in that age bracket of people that the Gen Z can relate to. I want to extend the same congratulations to my minority leader, who is Honorable Opiyo Wandayi. Honorable Opiyo Wandayi, under very difficult circumstances from last year when we were opposing the Finance Bill 2023, and the mandamanos that ensued, led from the front and has shown that is a fearless person, a person of integrity, and a person who can lead. I hope that he will take these fearless leadership qualities, taking into account the new dispensation that has been brought about by the young people, principles that these people expect to be reflected as he takes over the position of CS of Energy. As the Member of Parliament for Mathare, I expect that there will be equity in the distribution of resources, both from Treasury and Ministry of Energy. We have people in my constituency who for years continue to remain and are in a position where they cannot access electricity. In this budget alone, because of the austerity measures, we have had to cut, and I support, monies that were supposed to be sent for electrification to our constituencies, including one of my wards in Mathare called Hospital Ward that has been without electricity connectivity, 30,000 people for a period of 2 years. So I expect that he will look at the country balance the resources that are there in the Ministry of Energy, and ensure that these are resources that have been given in trust, and all the people of Kenya will be able to enjoy it. And so I want to support and I want to encourage all the members of the party that there has been a little bit of uncertainty as to what the ODM party position was. Now that it has become clear that the party direction is to enter into this national unity government, I want us to pull together all our ranks and support the position of our party leader and the position that have been given to our chairman, John Mbadi, and our minority leader, Mr. Opiyo Wandayi. I think the truth is in the statement that has been read by His Excellency the President, and the statement reads that the Honorable John Mbadi, the Honorable Opiyo Wandayi, our Deputy Party Leader, Ali Hassan Joho, our Deputy Party Leader, Oparanya, have been nominated to join cabinet. I think if you're looking at what the party position is, that would be what would be the msema kweli. And I think, allow me to add, there is nothing absolutely wrong to holding divergent opinions. I myself had my own personal opinions. It may not necessarily have been in consonance with other opinions of other people. But eventually, when it appears that the party top command has spoken, I think it is important that we all close ranks. There is no doubt now that there is no confusion. We are now part of the government. No, this is not about William Ruto, just like the conversation, the National Delegates Conference that is being proposed has nothing to do with conversing or dialoguing with the president. This country does not belong to the president and is not the president, and therefore we must also understand that the government is a government that belongs to the people. And that's why I was referring to Article 1 of the Constitution, that the people reclaimed their sovereignty. Article 1 of the Constitution says that all sovereign power belongs to the people. That which they walked here and they reclaimed, that which they wanted to go to state was to occupy, to reclaim. It says that that power is delegated. So being in government and being in the executive, that it belongs to the people. So if you're going there, you're going to the government that belongs to you as mwananchi. So there is nothing to go and save. We are not saving Ruto, we are saving Kenya. This country collectively owns the government in terms of the executive and even the legislature. If you look at it in that broader terms, you will see that it is not an opportunity for us to go and save anyone. We are actually taking part in government that belongs to the people, and government that the people of Kenya can reclaim anytime they want.
So where are the genesis in this CS's position?
I cannot speak for the president. I cannot speak for the president. The president himself has appointed, and in my opening statement, I said that what the Gen Zs spoke to was not necessarily an opportunity for so and so to be appointed. They spoke about good governance. They spoke about corruption. They spoke about equitable use of their tax money, equal opportunity. And so what we should be looking and demanding from these young men and women, and I call them young because the two that I have spoken to are youthful. They may not be Gen Zs, but they are useful. But what is being demanded of them, whether by Gen Zs or Alpha or X like myself or the baby boomers, is that they occupy those positions knowing that there is a requirement that they exercise good governance, that they respect the Constitution, and know that under Article 76 of the Constitution, those offices are given by way of a public trust, and they need to do it in a manner that dignifies and give respect to the people that elected them.
This is the last question.
Yes.
Those who lost lives.
There is still, I think, the issue of compensation. I myself would have been happier if we would have entered this step after the issues of compensations have been addressed, those who had been abducted, cases withdrawn. I myself was a victim of the Finance 2023 Uandamane. It is only today, and after appearances in court and numerous presentations representing myself, arguing that under Section 77 of the Penal Code, that provision of law that I was charged with for incitement and whatever it is under Uandamane was unconstitutional. So today that case of mine was withdrawn. I am still insisting that even as we have taken this step, we must not lose sight of the ball. There are people who's lost lives. We must require accountability from our police forces. We must require accountability for those who still have property and other things that were lost. More importantly, we must ensure that the rights under the Constitution, under Article 37, must always be protected and not be met by water canisters, bullets, and tear gas. We have supplementary 2, in which a huge amount of the money, I'm not happy with what has been cut. It could have been more, but at least now 178 billion in terms of money that would have gone to wastage, to traveling, to offices that we don't need. If the Gen Zs had not gone to be the streets, we would not be here. I myself am a product of the streets. I have one leg myself that was shot in Uandamane of 2017. Baba, while you were away when he came. I have teeth that are not mine, that are artificial teeth. I am a product of the streets. So by all means, Gen Zs must go back to the streets whenever it is they find an illegality, and to demand under Article 37 that things must be done properly.